everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Chris Yee.
And I'm Wendy Yee.
Today we're taking a look at a game called Tabriz. This is from Crafty Games. They don't make a ton of games. They make a few here and there. They've made a game about Mistborn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've made different games. This game, though, is, well, about as generic of a theme as you can get. You're in a market selling and buying goods. There are many.
You're carpet craftsmen who are sending
many
your little
of these
people
games.
out.
Yeah, you're basically buying and trading and selling. Here's how it plays. We'll be right back.
In Tabriz, players are master carpet weavers who are sending out their employees to go run around town, collect stuff so that they can bring them back and make beautiful carpets. The goal of the game is to reach the most points on the point tracker, but the game ends when someone has completed 9 contracts or they have moved up to level 14 on the brush track. So let's start by talking about a turn. So on a turn, a player is going to take one of their pawns and they are going to move it following these little footprint tracks up to 3 spaces away. Then they will lay their worker down and they will take the action of whatever place they ended up on. So this one here, I can pay $3 per cube. I can pay $6 for 2 cubes. Or if there happens to be more than that, I can pay $8 for all the cubes that are in the row. Now, all of these rectangular spots work the same way. And at the end of the round, so once everyone has played all 3 of their workers and laid them down, these are going to refill, and how they refill is shown on the side. After a person has laid down their worker and taken their action, they have the option to fulfill one of these contracts. If they do, let's say I was blue and we have 2 yellows and 1 green, then they would gain the rewards. Here is the instant reward, so they get $7 and 1 movement on the brush track. And then they would tuck it underneath their board for an income at the end of the round. So now this person would have an income of $4 at the end of each round. Now there's 3 other types of main buildings. You have the town square, which is right here where players can gain cards or they can gain some money. You have these thick rectangles that are more specifically for rolling dice. So they have some sort of like push or luck mechanism or a dice mechanism. And depending on what they are, they all work a little bit differently. And then finally, you have these tall rectangles, and these are going to be kind of Century Spice Road style, where you're going to exchange goods. So here you can trade in your red for things, white for things, some various colors, and so forth. Now, the goods themselves do have a ranking, so the white are much easier to get. However, they are lower and worth less. And depending on the height of card that you use, you're going to see that they use more expensive materials. So these are the easier cards, medium cards, and more difficult cards, but they also gain higher rewards. One cool element about this game is this brush track over here. So as you move up, you unlock the ability to have stronger cards. You also unlock the ability to move farther, so you can move your workers up to 4 spaces. You have ways to gain more cards. You have ways to complete multiple contracts on a turn. And then, of course, points at the end game. Now, there are 3 main ways to get points in this game. You can either get these bonuses on the contracts that you fulfilled. You can get to the end game scoring that is over here on the brush track. Or if you were the first person to trigger the end game, then you're going to go ahead and get this little 2-point bonus. So as a quick recap, you're going to be moving your workers around. You're going to be taking the actions that are on the spaces. You're going to be fulfilling contracts for points and money and income and movement on this brush track, all in the hopes of getting the most points by the time someone has reached 9 contracts or 14 on the brush track. And there you go. That is the gist of how you play Tabriz.
I don't love the size of the box, but it fits a playmat, which I don't hate.
Yes.
Is the playmat? Yeah, it does really fit that exactly that tall, right? It just barely fits in.
Yeah, and I think that's why the box is a little taller than normal.
Yeah. Well, because with the inserts and everything like that, it could have been, if not for that, a rectangular box, but small quibbles, I suppose.
I think my issue with the box is that I looked at this game and thought this was a lot heavier than it is. So I took a little bit longer to get to it because I just thought that, okay, I want to play this game, but it just looks a little bit bigger.
I'm just saying they could have made it longer and, well, whatever.
Coffin-sized boxes.
The components, I really like the components, though. I like that the different workers that you have look very different, regardless of color. There's a short one, a tall one. They have a different look to them. I think the board is colorful. I like that it's a play mat. I like your own board where you keep resources in sections. It's not dual layered, but I still like having a spot to put stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the tiles that you overlay onto that board have that fake dual layer thing. They have the punch outs that keep track of everything in there.
Yeah.
And I think you don't need things dual layered most of the time, and this is a great example of a game that has good quality production. It's not more overdone than it need be. You can joke, oh, it's a game about changing cubes into other cubes. No, it's actually a game about changing cubes into other cubes and cylinders into cubes.
But also, when we come to production, like the setup is so quick because every different type of building is shaped differently. And so you can randomize all these within this set. You can randomize all these within this other set, but you just match shapes on the board. So I do think that that's really nice.
Yeah, when I first got it, I was like, oh man, we got to go through how all these buildings work. Oh, they all kind of work the same.
Yeah.
Except there's some, I call them gambling buildings.
Yeah, like push your luck kind of stuff.
This game feels a lot like, there's a lot of these games out there. The two that most come to mind would be Century...
Spice Road?
Not Spice Road, the second one. Eastern
Seas.
And then Istanbul.
It is kind of a mashup of the two.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you see, like, hey, you can convert these resources into other things, right? I joked about. I actually like that there's cylinder. I like that there's little differences in them. But yeah, it instantly evokes that idea of the whole Century trilogy, right? Very simple. It's easy to know that purples are worth more than reds, which are worth more than yellows. And there's nothing wrong with that type of thing. But yeah, especially with those dice gambling buildings.
That's very Istanbul.
Well, the space in the middle, I keep calling the fountain. I'm like, bring all back your workers to the fountain if you want to.
Yeah, another Istanbul kind of feel right there.
That being said, I think this one separates itself a little bit in that it's just that easy to play. A lot of these games you have to sit there and think, okay, what is the perfect combination? I mean, way back when they, Knizia and other people were making the games where you had to be like, okay, this lets me turn 2 reds into 4 purples, and then 4 purples into 3 greens and 2 reds, and then, you know what I mean? This is more of a, I need purples. Oh, I can move here and get them. You could probably put more thought into that, but this is almost an introductory game to this kind of style.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a welcoming game, I think, than it presents, partially with its box size and everything, right? And it's a little bit more... It presents itself as a little bit more researched and everything like that. And so I think because of that, I thought, like, oh, there's going to be more to it. No, it's a pretty, what we call, welcoming game or a gateway game or, whatever the parlance that you would choose.
Mm-hmm. Now, it does have the advanced sides on the tokens, which I have not played, like on the little buildings. So they're advanced sizes so that resources come out differently and they're spent out differently. So there's ways to, I guess, level it up a little bit.
Sure, I've gone through those, and that's more of a diversity type thing.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I really do like the markets in this game. They work very well, in my opinion. And even with 4 players, and I guess I can go to 5. I've not played 5. But even with 4, it doesn't feel that tight. Yes, it's like, oh, you went and bought all the red cubes. I can kind of get them over here. I can go somewhere. I suppose you could get a bad setup. This is one of my problems with Istanbul. Is sometimes you look at the board and you're like, what a terrible arrangement.
That's when you just change stuff. And you're like, do we all agree that these should be here? Okay.
So the same thing could happen here. All the white cubes could be on one side. I don't even know if that's bad. You have 3 workers, so I'm not sure.
And once you upgrade that movement to 4, you can get everywhere you need to go.
That is true. 4, it's very few places you can't go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, maybe the big downsides of this would be the contracts that you get are going to be semi-random.
Yes.
I do like that they are tiered into the 3 different strengths. That's a really good choice. The downside being if you're like, oh, I want to get that upgrade track so I can get these cool benefits. You might not, depending on the things that you draw, right? And then the other thing, I feel like about 80% through the game, I feel like I'm kind of good. Oh, there's still a little bit more game left to it. I feel like it's just a smidge longer than I would kind of prefer it be.
I don't feel that. I do get the randomness. I was looking at the back of the box and I have 2 luck, and I was like, I might say 3.
But also you have the building and the fountain that you can draw 4, pick one.
Sure, but I mean, the thing is, it's not so much what you don't get. It's sometimes just getting that card. You're like, I have these resources. That puts me ahead of you because the reward for those is good. If you don't get a couple contracts quick, you're going to go, the money in this game's super tight. But if you get them, you're like,
Oh,
I got money
It's all
coming out of my
good.
ears.
Yeah.
It's a really weird situation in that way. And it doesn't bother me because of the lightness of the game, but I could see how that would be annoying.
Yeah. Well, and you also can't always decide if you want income or not. Like, I love income,
Yeah.
and I always want to work towards income, but you might not get those cards early on.
I do like income, though. You're right.
It is nice.
I always pick an income card over one that's not. And I think it could swing the game in your favor, actually.
I did have a game where I could trade in, I think, yellows for a card, but then the other income building card I got was that I could trade a card in for a yellow. It was like backwards from each other. It might have been a purple or red, but yeah, I was like, well, I have the inverse
Sure.
both of these cards.
But I got a couple in one where I had a bunch of money, and I was like, well, this is
Yeah, that's
great. I
nice.
never have to worry about money again. Every round, I'm getting 5 money or whatever.
But with that, if you want points and you've got plenty of money and you keep getting money cards, the game goes longer.
Yeah, it's a pretty basic game. I mean, just go around, get stuff, trade it in. What do you think?
I enjoy this one. Score-wise, I'm coming in at a 6.5. I think for me, the biggest part is that it does feel a little bit like it drags right at the end. And, you know, it's you're not playing to too long of an objective, but I feel like the ramp up, especially by the end, isn't quite there. It feels a little rinse-repeat. That being said, what you are rinsing and repeating is a I think, really clever little spatial puzzle, right? How do you get the stuff most efficiently? If you run over to this side, are you kind of if you run to the extremes, you're like, oh, I can't really reach the middle if I might need that later. So there's some really good decisions going on there. It's fun, and it's one that I would come back to, but I'm shy of recommending. So it's a 6.5 for me.
I'd give it a 7.5. For me, it's just very pleasant. I don't. I'm just like, I'll go over here. I'll get some stuff, and it feels very satisfying. And I like the fact that a game like this exists that people might play who wouldn't normally play it. It's just getting them to play it. The box cover, the name, it looks kind of cool, but I just don't know. I don't see people grabbing this off the shelf. I would have to be like, hey, let's play this game. That's my concern with it. It looks more intimidating than it is, but I still think it's fun. For me, it's just kind of an easygoing jaunt going around and trading stuff, as opposed to some of these games where I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I got to think 6 turns ahead to do this, to do this, to do this. This one I'm kind of like, yeah, I'll go get the resources I need. I didn't get them this turn. I'll get them next turn.
Nice. So this, I think, was on my anticipated for the year. It was one that I was excited about because I like the theme of, being those master craftsmen sending out your little guys. And I love the resource trading. I love the way that those buildings slowly build up over time. So you're like, well, can I wait a little bit, get more cubes? But then if you wait too long, they can completely wipe. Like, I really like that system, and I feel like it's very clean. It is a little bit of, like, the cleanup phase is a little bit long, but if everybody has a task, you're just like, everybody do your task, and it gets all done. So I think, my biggest complaint about this is just that the box made me think, oh, this is a lot heavier of a game than it is. But did I say my score yet?
You did not.
I didn't say my score
We're
yet.
waiting on pins and needles.
I'm giving this an 8. I just really enjoyed it. It's got some jolly good stuff in it.
Well, there you go, folks. That's Tabriz. Check it out. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Chris Yee.
And I'm Wendy.
We'll trade you 2 yellows for a purple. It's a good deal. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.